The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. You have lost your mind this morning, haven't you?
I feel like I haven't seen you. Like, we work together every day.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen you in like a week.
Were you going through withdrawals?
I was a little bit.
It's
I think I'm a
because-
little giddy to get away from the office and just, have some coffee and be silly with you.
I was going to ask if it was meds or coffee or a combination
I'm
of
back
all
on
the
the
above.
coffee.
You are?
Yeah, extra. No, I don't do extra shots, but I do strong black coffee.
Atta girl. Well, as always, that special.
God, you make it sound like the bus is coming.
I am not. Special voice in the studio is my special co-host, Michelle Pettis-Cavalli from Valleywide Homes. Michelle is a licensed real estate professional. I slurred that. Licensed real estate professional.
I'm getting ready to be the spokesperson for the Laidlaw thing. Special. Yes, I'm special.
Yeah, we're also extremely lucky on this very special.
It's been a hyper day. I'm sorry.
We're also, I could not tell once we walked in. There, absolutely positively. We also are very fortunate to have Tom Miller from Prudential, California Realty in our studio this morning.
Did you know his wife works with him?
Yeah, I did.
She keeps him in check.
Yeah, she definitely does
I love that. I'm like, hey,
she's Latina too, which makes it even worse.
I'm like,
so I shouldn't ask how that's working for you.
I love that she has him dialed in for his listings and all. I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Tom, thanks so much for getting up with us. Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
I love it. Super excited about today's show. We're going to take a look at some of the top stories in the news. And I tell you what, there's no shortage of stories, especially when you're talking. And we're not even talking politics this morning.
No. It is an election year, though.
It is an election year. Mm-hmm. You got that right. But there is a whole lot that is hinging, our fiscal cliff, a whole lot that's hinging on the outcome as far as this particular election is concerned. We also have Tom Miller, as we mentioned, from Prudential, California Realty to help give us some clarity about our local real estate market. And we're also going to take a look and try to answer some kind of complicated listener questions. They're really good. So make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show, please give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. Michelle, you can also go to our website at reofresnohomes.com.
Love that.
Yeah, it's great.
I love our old shows on there.
Yeah, it is great. You can listen to old shows on there. On YouTube by going to that website as well. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keyword.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call us anytime. Well, you heard us talk about press 4. Again, it's interesting. I had a question last night. Someone said, so what is this press 4 stuff? I said, well, it's, I think Greg Stebbin, the CEO of Press 4, coined it best. It is for all those times that you are away from your computer and you're trying to get information and you don't have a keyboard or you don't have, you can't text 442-684 to 445-852.
Excuse me?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you press 4.
Exactly. You just press 4.
And it dials for you.
And you say your keywords. KMJ, call Valleywide, and it'll call Valleywide. Well, let's talk about today's hot properties. Today's hot properties are brought to you by Perfect Home Inspections. Residential, multifamily, commercial. Use press 4 keywords, Perfect Home Inspections. Or call Jerry today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Tom, were you able to get some information on that listing, buddy?
I am.
His bride. His
You
bride
have.
is taking care of him.
Technology. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yes. Yes, 663 Fordham, Clovis, California, and off of Alluvial in Armstrong. It's priced at $200,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,770 square feet. And it's cute. It's on a corner lot right next to a little playground. It is a short sale, but it is almost approved.
Fantastic.
When did it come on the market? Do we know?
It just came on yesterday.
I was going to say, really, because it should be gone by now.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Stats are saying that we should be in contract by Friday.
I'm like, really? Because I can sell that over the air right now.
Done. Write it up.
I apologize.
Seriously.
Did you mention the list price?
The list price, $200,000.
$200,000.
That's why I said I could sell it right now.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow. Your wife's...
We're going to talk in a little bit.
Yeah.
You and I are.
No
I'm going to call his
calls, please.
wife. That's funny.
Good deal. Well, the other hot property we're featuring this morning is 2444 South Via Certosa. Is that Certosa?
Where are you? It's Certosa, I believe.
Certosa. It's Certosis. And you know what? I had
It was not
Certosis
cirrhosis.
once.
It
really,
sounds like it.
Really bad, and it took me a long time to recover. I'm so sorry. That was...
If somebody knows what Certosa means, they should really call us.
Okay, so 2444 South Via Certosa Drive. This is actually like a stone's throw. I could hit this doggone house from my front driveway if I threw a rock hard enough. Yeah. And if I weren't 104 years old, I could probably get it there. Fresno County, so major cross streets. This is in the Granville gated community off of Fowler and Church Avenue. This home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,546 square feet, built in 2010, Sanger Unified Schools. All this for only $169,000, which is also the appraised value. This property is a HUD home and is eligible for owner occupants only. Bidding deadline is daily at 11:59 Central Standard Time, and it's eligible for FHA financing, and that property has been appraised. That's how they determine the listing price, and that is an FHA appraisal that can be used for the purposes of securing financing. So you take that appraisal, like I said before, you port that appraisal over to the lender, and they can use it for the purposes of financing. So good deal. Saves them $400 to $450. Well, if you'd like information about today's hot properties, please give us a call anytime at 800-979-3958, or use press 4 keywords KMJ Hot Property, and we'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, now we're going to transition to the community calendar. We've got an announcement here. Come taste the flavor of the valley at the Fresno Buddhist Temple's Ginza Food Bazaar on Saturday, October 27th from 11:30 to 6 p.m., located at 2690 East Alluvial Avenue between Chestnut and Willow. Teriyaki chicken, sushi, ribs, katsu dogs, and dessert, plus many more food choices. A la carte or takeout. Live entertainment will be featured, as well as a raffle. First prize, Michelle, $1,000. Second prize is an iPad, and plus there's many more great prizes. If you'd like more information about the Ginza Food Bazaar, contact 442-4054. That's 442-4054. Or use press 4 keywords, Ginza Food Bazaar. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our resources by going to our website. You can also search for your next home at reofresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keyword.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call us anytime. Tom, Michelle, myself, we'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, we're going to take a look at some of the top stories in the news. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958. Put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. you. Valley-wide Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate license 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar. How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC. Come join the fun and show your support for three-time Valley champion Clovis East High School boys basketball program at the 8th annual Crab Feed Dinner on Saturday, October 20th at 6 p.m. at the Fresno Betsuan Buddhist Temple's Family Dharma Center, located on Alluvial Avenue. All you can eat crab, chicken, and tri-tip. A live and silent auction with dancing starting at 9 p.m. For more information, contact 797-5381. That's 797-5381, or use press 4 keywords Clovis East.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, local real estate news, I tell you what, our local market, obviously it tops is top of mind as far as our local news is concerned. Local real estate news, roughly 1,275 active listings in Fresno County. So not Fresno Clovis, but Fresno County as a whole. 742 closings recently in August. So as far as monthly numbers are concerned, you know, it's pretty strained, and it feels like, and from what I've heard, is the numbers appear to be, as far as inventory is concerned, that it's dropping. Tom, you want to touch on that real quick? You brought in some stats. I received some stats from you this week earlier with regards to basically what inventory has been doing. What are you seeing?
Well, sure. I think the first thing that we want to note is remember that these numbers, they probably don't mean anything to any of us unless we go back and look at past. And so to give an idea of past, in January, we had in Fresno and Clovis, the cities, because of course that's where I sell predominantly. I don't sell in Sanger, Dinuba.
Right.
So I focus on Fresno and Clovis. So these numbers are select to that city, to those cities. So we had about 1,497 or 1,500 homes on the market in January. As of the other day, we had 917. So,
and this is Fresno Clovis proper.
Fresno Clovis. And
Gotcha.
then if we were, of course, to go back 2 or 3 years, we're talking 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 in some cases 3 years ago on the market. So, yes, our inventory is down there.
Yeah.
And then to top it off, we sold basically 570 the way that I track Fresno and Clovis,
Fresno Clovis, right.
in the last period. And in January, we were only selling about 425, 450.
Right.
So definitely a higher demand as well.
Definitely higher demand.
Absolutely.
There might be a little seasonable adjustment there, or season, you know, as far as the season. What did I say? Seasonable adjustment there for January.
Springs.
For coming through winter, you know, it's things that are closing in January. Typically, those contracts that were ratified somewhere end of November, beginning of December. You know, let's ask the question. Really, truly. Granted, we've seen so much upward pressure on prices. Inventory is so low and continuing to fall at somewhat of a gradual pace. So just exactly, what's your take in terms of exactly how fragile, and that might sound like an odd question, but how fragile is our market?
I'm going to jump on it, and I think there were Eric Mata of a company here in town. Who, you know, I had a great conversation with him the other day, and he brought up, instead of shadow inventory, which I think is what makes us really fragile. It kind of puts a little fear mongering in everybody.
Right.
And
Who's lurking
so
in the
on.
shadows?
Yeah,
right.
and so I think the word that he used best was limbo inventory. And it's so dead on because, yes, there is definitely a large limbo inventory out there. And there are people that are either waiting for modifications, waiting for foreclosure, not sure what's going to happen when their loan adjusts, et cetera. So I think limbo inventory is the biggest issue.
Well, and I think that really does coin it well, because when you say limbo inventory or insinuating that someone is potentially in limbo, because there is no true one variable or indication that we are going to see an increase in inventory, which I do believe that we could handle, easily handle.
Like a sponge. We'd soak it up.
Exactly. Inventory could increase by a third and we'd still easily.
Have no problem.
Exactly.
Right.
And also at the same time, because it is a double-edged sword, you see inventories increase. Simple economics take over, supply and demand. Are we going to see a softening as far as prices are concerned? One might make the insinuation that because there's been such upward pressure on prices and inventory levels being so low, that maybe that prices are a little artificially high or inflated because of demand, just simply because that's how simple economics work.
Well, I think the other challenge, though, is even though these prices are inflated maybe at list point, the big challenge is getting through that appraisal. I might be able to list it at 200 and it's truly valued at 185.
Hey, that sounds like a problem that we had quite a bit in 04, 05, and 06.
Well, and the answer to that is, especially now, is that in order for an appraiser with the larger banks to come in at value or show that there is that it is an improving market, they have to have 4 to 6 months of support of that.
Certainly.
Right.
And so we've been challenged because it is up and down. 1 month we're up, 1 month we're down. So until it gets a little more consistent, I think then that's when we'll be able to see a true values climbing or moving the right direction.
We definitely need the right petri dish conditions in terms of our market's concerned.
Right, we need balance.
And really, when it comes right down to it, it's a national problem. This is an ongoing national problem where we've seen inventory levels in other markets that have just been hit immensely. Baltimore, Maryland, 15,000 units currently active in inventory at an average listing or median asking price of $232,000. Now, 15,000 for us, 10 times. That boggles my mind. Chicago, Illinois, 39,199 active listings. Median asking price $179,800. So, and we'll talk a little bit later in the show when we talk about quantitative easing and really the perceived effect that it will have. What's NAR, National Association of Realtors, take on? Do they really truly believe that this is going to have an effect as far as encouraging home ownership? In the Central Valley here, inventory levels being at 1,275, unemployment being at 15.5%. How low can inventory go before there is, and I don't want to say mass hysteria, but some type of hysteria that's created? Because if inventory does continue to decrease, the only things that I can see in the very near future that would help to somewhat alleviate that is, as we always see, that seasonal lull as far as post-Christmas, beginning of the year. It's much cooler. People stay in under their blankets. They don't get out. Sun doesn't shine. It's just human nature. That might take a little bit of the pressure off, but
I think we have a society here locally, at least, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, where we aren't seeing the regular stages of life transferring of properties. So, for instance, you have a small family, you live in a small home. As your family grows, you plan to move. That planning isn't happening. Same thing with people who are downsizing.
Because it's been interrupted.
Because it's been interrupted by market value.
Right.
So they're all... not all, but a lot of people are hoping and just kind of sitting, waiting for this market to repair itself. Unfortunately, it will only repair itself if we continue on with our normal activities, which are planning our life moving forward.
Sure.
Sitting in a lull, again, not making a decision is making a decision.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we see not a lot of inventory because we aren't seeing transitional movement as we normally would.
Well, as Don Scordino was from Welcome Home Radio and Realty Concepts was on the show this last weekend, and he had made the comment that the number of homes that were transferred in 2006, the overwhelming percentage, or an overwhelming percentage, 50-some%, were sold by sellers located outside of the state, and that number has begun to transition downward, so that you're seeing either the bank may be located here, or maybe it's located outside of the state, but there's more traditional sales. Traditional sales account for what, 55% roughly, as far as the market makeup's concerned. I would just contend that right now, as we speak, there is a tipping point, and we have to be extremely, extremely, extremely careful because our Petri dish, which is extremely, extremely important to us, given decreased inventory, and let's just say decreased inventory and decreased interest rates, however minor, we might see a drop. If we're going to see sub 3% on an FHA 30-year fixed rate loan, which we're doggone close right at the moment.
Saw 3.0 yesterday.
Yeah, there you go.
Really?
Yep.
Again, every time we see negative news as far as the stock market's concerned, the unemployment numbers come out, the jobless numbers come out into this last week. It was bloody as far as the market's concerned, and we saw, and the market was kind of dysfunctional, it seemed like, when the numbers were up, and they anticipated the numbers weren't going to be up, and the market wasn't, what, in a handbasket and down 158 points the moment that they opened. It was really interesting, and that, to me, that coins that there's got to be some dysfunction priced into the market at that point. I would just contend, again, the market is extremely fragile because if rates go down, and let's throw another variable in there. Rates go down, inventory goes down, and unemployment goes down. Now, what's wrong with those three? Two of those variables, you think, well, if unemployment goes down, that's phenomenal. If rates go down, my gosh, even better. 2 out of 3. Inventory goes down, again. You've got, and what did you call it, Tom? It's getting to the point where we're almost seeing that bubble, that artificial bubble.
The mini bubble.
Yeah, the mini bubble.
The local bubble.
Yeah. And that's scary. That's scary because Tom and I were talking a few days back and saying, after what we've been through the last 5 or 6 years, it's been extremely, extremely humbling. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily just from a professional standpoint. I can say that also on a personal standpoint as well. It has been a rough ride to the crash site and from ever since. But as you mentioned, Tom, we're as busy as we've been, and there's no lack of...
listening earlier, I think one of the things that's so fantastic, I can remember when I had to go out and hunt and search for clients. And now, granted, right now they're not coming from the same places they were 2, 3, 5, 6 years ago. Now it does seem like there is, in certain groups, whether it be investors, whatever, but there is somewhat of a frenzy.
Where are you seeing the biggest draw or the biggest interest?
Definitely the craziest thing that I think all of us are shocked of cash buyers. Where the heck did all this cash come from?
Where are they storing all this stuff?
I'm going to start digging holes all over this little county here and see if somebody's buried
where they're storing it, huh?
Right.
Where they're stashing it?
It's amazing how many cash buyers there are in this market. And we're not talking refi to cash. They've got it
this
in
is cash
their
stuck at home.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sitting there. So
Stockpiled.
They're definitely looking at that 100, 150 range, and they look at the value of the rental. And
even having said that, what's been your experience in terms of those cash buyers that you're seeing that still have the old school mindset of, you're listing it at 120, so how about 110 and no contingencies, 10-day close? 6 months ago, they'd come in, they'd be, well, let's knock 10% off the price. Now they're literally going above price. And they are 10-day close, no contingencies. I've got a piece of land that 15-day, all cash. We just want in and out.
Wow, I actually showed one of our HUD B of A, one of our, a foreclosure the other day to an investor. And
there was a line at the door.
There was a
they were
line.
selling
It was
hot
the
dogs,
first
and the
day.
popcorn machine was going.
We must have had 8 groups through, and the house is priced under $100,000. And they're all looking at rental. It needs probably $20,000 worth of work on the house
In the Mayfair district is where it's located.
And the client that I'm with says to me, "Yeah, with $20,000, I'm thinking, let's offer below asking, a couple thousand." I said, "Are you kidding?"
You see the line.
Yeah, and he says, "No. Well, let's wait a week."
Or don't you see the line?
Yeah. He says, "Let's wait a week, and then we'll see what happens." I said, "Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's going to go $10,000 to $15,000 over asking on this house. That's my opinion. He's a good friend. He's a friend of Craig, so I said, I'll run it by Craig." Just so you're aware, I'll run the numbers with Craig, but I'm thinking we're $10,000 to $15,000 over, with $20,000 still needed for the repairs.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't believe me.
Yeah, well,
how many offers have we gotten on that property? 10 offers on that
Some
property.
of the best agents I've seen in this market right now are listing below price.
So they can get activity.
Oh, and then they're seeing 7 to 8% over.
Yep.
Artificial auction type atmosphere. It creates that hysteria. Number one, it creates interest.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the asset manager negotiator behind that particular transaction? If it's obviously a short sale, there's nobody behind the transaction just quite yet. In most normal situations or instances, because a negotiator typically isn't assigned until you've gone through quite a bit of the process. Hardship package has been submitted, the valuation is in, and now the negotiator sits down and looks at all of the data and says, "Hey, all right, well, this is what we'll take for it," or "How many offers? One? Oh, okay. Well, then let's take a look at it and compare it to our valuation." So this is one of it's a hard conversation to have, because it scares me that those 3 variables, we're unemployment, we'd love it to go down. 15.5% needs to go much lower. Interest rates, I think we're going to see some drops as far as rates are concerned. As to how much, it's difficult to say. 0.25%, that gets us below 3% is amazing on FHA financing. But inventory, that's the variable that scares me right at the moment. And we'll see as it transpires over the next 12 months.
It's not getting any better.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And what I would say is those folks who are out there not making decisions, you need to make a decision, and now's the time to do it. If you have a question about putting your house on the market and what's going on out there, we have buyers looking for that house.
Amen.
Definitely give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, call us anytime, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website, REOFresnoHomes.com. You can friend us. You can be our friend, Michelle, on Facebook.
I am your friend.
I know you are, time and time again. Mm-hmm. Use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To get connected to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, if you're thinking about buying a home in today's competitive real estate market, what are some of the questions that you may want to ask your real estate agent? Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valleywide Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at REOFresnoHomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valleywide Homes to work for you. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar. How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC. Come join the fun and show your support for three-time Valley champion Clovis East High School boys basketball program at the 8th annual Crab Feed Dinner on Saturday, October 20th at 6 p.m. at the Fresno Betsuan Buddhist Temple's Family Dharma Center, located on Alluvial Avenue. All you can eat crab, chicken, and tri-tip. A live and silent auction with dancing starting at 9 p.m. For more information, contact 797-5381. That's 797-5381, or use press 4 keywords Clovis East.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we talked about it a little bit prior to the break. Mortgage rates continue to hover near record lows.
I'm waiting for them to stand on the corner and just hand out money.
I think they did that the other day, actually.
Did they? I would not be surprised.
I'd never tell you.
Oh, my God.
Well, the government does it. Why can't everybody else?
Tom. Come on now. Knock it off. This fixed-rate mortgages mostly held steady this past week, but near their all-time lows, keeping the purchasing power of home buyers high. We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. Again, FHA interest rates near 3% on a 30-year fixed rate with an APR of probably 3.25%, somewhere in that ballpark. 30-year fixed rates, the most popular choice among home shoppers, has been below 4%. Now, this is conventional financing, so this is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the government-sponsored enterprises that set all the underwriting guidelines for conforming financing, has been below 4% every week this year, except for one. Is that amazing? And think of this. If you owe $200 on your home and it's worth $100, mm-hmm. and you can make your payments, there's no hardship that you've experienced, you've been current over the last 12 months, and you want to stay there, chances are, and you're paying 7%, chances are you're able to lower your interest rate with roughly about 3% with HARP 2.0, the Home Affordable Refinance Program. An amazing, amazing, amazing program. So this would be a great call to action, that if you're paying anything in excess of 5%, again, it must make dollars and cents. And the numbers don't lie in terms of the overall savings that you're going to experience, multiplying principal and interest out over the life of the loan based upon the number of months that you're actually you have remaining versus the new loan. And it'll tell you, here's how much you're either going to save or not save, making that comparison. Working with a client right at the moment, 15-year fixed rate, no cash out refinance, and ending up saving them roughly $48,000 over the life of their loan. And that's really huge when you've got someone that, and this particular the individual is a friend of mine, had been a friend of mine for 20 years, conservative and responsible, unlike me.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing to talk about, HARP 2.0, the Home Affordable Refinance Program, we just touched on it briefly. The surge in applications that we saw at the end of the first quarter this year, really, for some wholesalers nationally, put some immense stress on their underwriting departments, and their turn times ballooned dramatically. And so what you would see is normal turn time might be 48, 72 hours, and then it became 5 or 6 days, then it became 7 or 8, then it was 10 and 11. Now it is their underwriting files received from 2004.
Stop.
You're probably right.
It feels that way. Let's put it that way, because it goes into a big hole and then you don't hear from somebody for months on end. They're like July. But now keep in mind, or middle of July that they're underwriting right at the moment. Keep in mind is that Home Affordable Refinance 2.0 means that there's no cap as far as your loan to value is concerned. Well, some lenders weren't willing to say, I'm willing to go all the way up in excess of 125%. Some lenders aren't willing, they're not direct seller servicers for Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and they're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to cap, or we're not going to put a cap, and those are the ones that really experienced the immense surge in volumes. So it's a tough thing. Pay close attention. Make sure that as a buyer that you're asking, what are your turn times, just to give you somewhat of a feel for. That's a pulse that you need to take at the very beginning of your transaction, depending upon who you're doing business with. And also we're seeing with those that are doing the unlimited loan to values, they're now prioritizing purchases. So purchases are 7 or 8 days, whereas HARP 2.0 refinances are 45 days, something along those lines.
And if you're not sure, I had a call in from a past client this last week. We financed his house several years ago at Valleywide, and he did conventional, 20% down, and he's getting letters in the mail, and he's not sure what to believe and what not to believe. Mm-hmm. So we went through it. I talked with him. I explained it. I said, take it, do it. It's HARP 2.0. You want to participate in this. He's saving about $300 a month.
Yeah, fantastic.
It is awesome. And now we were the original broker who helped him years ago purchase this home. So if you're not sure, call us. And we will tell you.
It's a simple lookup as far as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are concerned.
Let's look at the information. That you're being, but he's being fed information by his servicer, not Fannie Mae, not Freddie Mac, through the servicer, and so they're uncomfortable. They're angst.
Yeah.
People are angst with what they're receiving in the mail because they're getting contacted 15, 20 times and really not comfortable with the information they're seeing. So definitely, if you need another source, definitely call a professional to take a look at that information and make sure that you understand what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in an effort to help keep mortgage rates low or artificially low, as we discussed, quantitative easing, QE3 as we now know it. We've seen QE1 that sunk back in the early 1900s, didn't it? Yeah. And then we had QE2, and then we had QE3, and Ben Bernanke, the head of the Fed, came out and said, I'm willing to commit $40 billion a day for an extended period of time. Now that's $40 billion.
If he just put $40 billion back into jobs in this nation, we'd probably be sitting in a really good spot. I'm sorry. Side note, soapbox. I'm getting off.
Hey, again, we talked about TARP, and I was from the very beginning. I said, write everybody a check for crying out loud, and let's fix this sucker right from the get go, and that would have been 2000.
Okay, so when he says he's going to commit $40 billion a day. Committed to what?
Committed to purchasing bonds on an immense scale in order to help keep mortgage-backed securities low or drive them lower than where they're at right at the moment. And is that and also keep short-term rates, the rates that banks lend money to each other overnight, low as well. Their overnight window rates.
Is it just me, or does everyone find this to be the ultimate manipulation of the markets?
Well, again, there's been those proponents that say, Darwin, let the market take its course, and started saying that back in 2007 before the market meltdown. And had that happened, as we saw in the Inside Job, it would have, from what they say, it would have meant pandemonium, or is it some of your rich friends going out of business? I wasn't.
There is no doubt that is the biggest problem too. Is they're not allowing the markets to take their course,
a natural course.
Yeah, and we have to sit back. Unfortunately,
enjoy the ride.
And watch.
And the reason I say enjoy the ride, excuse me for interjecting, Tom, because when I say enjoy the ride in terms of if we don't allow this to take its course, to allow the market to meander as it would normally, what's going to end up happening is this is going to mean that period is going to be extended far and beyond what we would have normally seen.
It's kind of like picking a scab on a wound. If you leave it alone, it will heal. If you don't, and you keep picking at it, guess what?
Okay.
It just stays open.
Now I get that. I thought I was taking a nasty turn, but
I love that.
I wanted you to have a picture of that.
Thank you. I do, and I'm a little scarred. No pun intended. National Association of Realtors also has an opinion and sent a letter that I have here in my hands to Chairman Bernanke.
I like that they named him the Honorable Ben Bernanke.
He is in charge of the money print and press.
Yeah.
So
we give him honor?
That's a pretty, I'm guessing.
Okay.
So the National Association of Realtors, their stance is that although QE3 is great, we're not a big proponent as far as QE3 is concerned. That they feel, and I tend to agree here, there are some new rules that are set to take place coming up here. In the forthcoming, and this is called Ability to Repay / Qualified Mortgage. There's another set of rules called Risk Retention / Qualified Residential Mortgage, or QRM, and Basel III rules that would serve to tighten credit underwriting as far as mortgages are concerned. It would also place a cap as far as the maximum debt-to-income ratios that are allowable for mortgage-backed securities. And that they feel that these rules would cap it at 43% would exclude nearly 20% of today's borrowers in today's market. Now that is that's
a huge number,
huge chunk. And their contention is you really need to take a long, hard look at these rules before you allow them to actually take effect, because what you're doing, although it's a nice gesture, with a lot of zeros on a daily basis, and it might provide some traction, it's like icing on a cake, or smoke and mirrors.
Well, I mean, again, it's a manipulation of the market. And what I'm seeing, and this is just a generality, they continue to try to generate laws, generate rules, and regulate the fix, not taking into consideration what's already established or what was established in our past history, which potentially you're affecting.
Well, is that because it wasn't self-serving now, or what?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming so. They weren't making enough money with the way it was, so let's tweak it and make it work better so that somebody makes money. It may not be the public, but somebody's
two factors, too, that play into, I think one of the big things is symptoms. They're treating the symptoms.
Sure.
They're not dealing with the cause.
The underlying cause, sure.
And that's the painful part, and that's where we're going to hurt.
Well, and because of that, I do believe, I was listening to Trulia, the CEO from Trulia this morning it was day before yesterday on CNBC, and stating that he really truly believes that it's 2016 before we are out of this. I think Carr's national economist had stated that back in 2009, that it was going to be 2016, somewhere in that ballpark. And I have to say this, with 11,000, it's estimated there's still 11,000 homeowners nationally, 11 million.
1,000, that's
11,000,
good.
that's not bad.
Wow.
Can we get those here in Fresno?
News, yeah. No, 11 million, excuse me, I dropped a zero. 11 million homeowners nationally still underwater.
Right.
So that's a problem. That's a huge problem, because they're a banana peel away from strategic foreclosure or some type of loss.
Okay, so what is the recommendation? Do it, be done, and move forward, in my opinion. And that's my opinion.
And it's a national, again, I say it's a national problem because
with what is.
What's the market like in Atlanta with 40,000 plus listings right at the moment? And what are median home prices doing? And what kind of demand is there? And with a drop in interest rates, what's unemployment like there? With a drop in interest rates, how that's going to affect their market?
Okay, well, our ecosystem is a different system.
That's my point.
Our ecosystem, people need to make the decision and do it quickly and move forward, because it will stimulate our valley in many different ways economically to move us forward past this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm off my soapbox again.
No, you can preach it all you want. It is dead on. And I will say, I love California. Who cares about all those drama queens over in there? This is where it's at.
I think it's important that we be aware of it, though, because especially this year with an election year, it's really interesting that we're very pro-housing, pro-build, pro-move, let's keep moving forward. And generally people think Fresno's podunk, but I'm going to say I don't hear any of the politicians discussing Ohio and
they want to forget or
Chicago.
sweep under the rug.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to discuss the 40,000 houses.
It doesn't make you real popular if you start talking downtown Detroit.
They start talking about Fresno and Modesto and Stockton.
But let's commit $40 billion a day to those places and stimulate some jobs, in my opinion. But whatever.
The market conditions.
Yeah.
We need it to run its course.
Exactly. You cannot legislate stupid out of the equation. I wish we could.
Thank you. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or questions regarding what we've been talking about here on the show, Tom, Michelle, and myself, we'd love to hear from you. 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website and check out our resources online at reofresnohomes.com. You can also listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or to call us, use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, we're going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062. 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar. How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG, member SIPC. Come join the fun and show your support for 3-time Valley champion Clovis East High School boys basketball program at the 8th annual Crab Feed Dinner on Saturday, October 20th at 6 p.m. at the Fresno Betsuan Buddhist Temple's Family Dharma Center, located on Alluvial Avenue. All you can eat crab, chicken, and tri-tip. A live and silent auction with dancing starting at 9 p.m. For more information, contact 797-5381. That's 797-5381, or use press 4 keywords Clovis East.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we told you before we took a quick break, we're going to take some listener questions. First one, Tom, this is for you, buddy. If my buyer was unable to close on my house, so I'm the seller of this particular property, by the closing date of the contract, can I back out?
Yes, you can. And the first question would be:
Yeah, I was going to say, slow down, boys.
Have you been given a notice to? Have you given the buyer a notice to perform?
Mm-hmm.
And
explain what that is real quick.
Well, it basically breaks down the contingency factors and has them remove contingencies, and lets you know where they are in the stage of the game. In other words, if it's a loan that needs to close, have the appropriate, has appraisal been completed, and
has
so
the loan been approved? Remove the loan contingency.
Yeah.
Anything that you're willing to remove as a buyer's agent means that there is a certain degree or level of comfort that we're moving ahead, that we're going to make sure that we reassure you, Mr. Listing Agent and Mr. Seller, by removing those contingencies. Because we remove those contingencies, it all of a sudden then puts those monies that have been given to escrow in earnest forfeitable.
Yes.
So at that point, as you said during the break, you put your money where your mouth is.
Well, and real quick, I want to jump on the fact that unfortunately there are a lot of agents that don't understand how important this is. So if you're listening, one of the things you need to make sure is now you need to be in the know, and the know is you need a notice to perform. A lot of agents think that it's too aggressive.
Right.
And so they'll hold out a week or two, and then before you know it, you're delayed, and it gets even worse, and you're really trapped in a deal that you didn't want to be trapped in.
And I would say this as well. It should be perceived aggressive if there is a lack of communication between the listing agent and the selling agent.
Yes.
And that is its intent. So, as you mentioned as well, this is a business. Our job is to protect our seller. We have a responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to protect our seller. So expect that if there is a blatant lack of communication, that you are going to get a notice to perform. And, Michelle, as you've always said, there can never be too much communication in a transaction. And remember this, and I think agents lose this point. The opportunity to communicate with another agent is an opportunity to build a relationship, and that is so critical. Because here's the deal. I look at every of the 2,800, 2,900 agents that are a member of our association. You're part of my team. So I want to pick up my phone as much as I can. I want to answer your questions. I hopefully can be a breath of fresh air in terms of giving you information on any of our listings because you're part of my team.
Yes.
And it creates goodwill. I'm not running for political office. I'm in business and hopefully going to do a good job, or at least attempt to try to do a good job. So cannot communicate too much. Notice to perform. Hopefully the contract hasn't expired, because if you're a selling agent, you've allowed the contract to expire. That is real estate 101. You never allow the contract to expire. You might get an extension, but you're going to get a notice to perform first, remove those contingencies, then you get your extension approved. So there you go. Sometimes you get tit for tat and you barter.
But backing out, there's no doubt, is difficult. It's an arduous process, and so unfortunately, yes, you can, but boy, let me tell you, there's a lot of sweat.
Yeah, hopefully nothing has transpired and that you actually have a
and
good,
we were just
solid
talking
deal.
about this before we went on air. Putting it on the market again and starting over is...
Do you want to start over? Not
a
necessarily.
headache for all.
Do you know what you're going to get in number two?
Right.
It could be just as bad in buyer number two.
Right. Salvage what you've got. Exactly. The grass ain't always greener on the other side of the fence. My I will say this. Usually the grass is dead and there's dog poop everywhere on the other side of the fence.
You're such a goof.
Cindy from Fresno. Next question. My grandfather deeded property to my mom, and my mom deeded one of the parcels to me. Now I have been told it might take a quiet title action to clear up the mistakes that were made along the way. Let's talk about quiet title real quick. Quiet title helps. It's a lawsuit, and it helps to provide clarity as to the intent of who really should be the legal owner of that parcel or parcels at this date and time. The intent may have been great along the way. It may have been done with some professionals along the way. They may have been transferred, and it may have been an uninsured transaction, meaning you have an individual that transfers title without title insurance. Again, title insurance. I talked to the gals from First American Title. We're going to have them on the show coming up here again real quick. Title insurance is so critical because it ensures that everyone either A, has the ability to be able to convey clear title, or B, the ability to receive clear title in a transaction. Last thing you want to do is paint yourself into a transaction that you can't get yourself out of. So it helps to basically ensure that those folks that receive the title in this particular instance actually have the right to hold title in this property, and it removes that cloud from title so that you can then do whatever you want to down the road, whether it is transfer the property, whether it's sell the property, whether it's give it back to mom, but you've got to have clear and equitable title before you can do anything with it. It's like not clear title as far as your auto is concerned.
Well, and I always find it really interesting when somebody's transferring title amongst people in their families. It's usually because someone, one, is trying to gift something in a very honest way.
Certainly.
Or two, someone's trying to shyster and move things around because they're afraid they're going to get sued, or some other recourse is coming at them.
Right.
Correct. So inevitably, it can be done, but it needs to be done appropriately because otherwise you may lose everything you have in that property.
Well, one of the nice things, too, about title insurance is, remember, that insurer doesn't like giving money away. So there's another set of eyes that's confirming that the property is free and clear and ready to go.
Totally. Great answers, guys. Well, again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions that you'd like to have answered here on the Real Estate Radio Network, call us anytime at 800-979-3958. Again, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also go to our website, search for your next new home at reofresnohomes.com. We'd love you to friend us on Facebook, or you can use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or if you'd like to call us, Tom, Michelle, myself, use press 4 keywords.
Call Valley White.
You got it. Call us anytime. Again, Tom, thanks so much for getting up early this morning, buddy. Tom Miller from Prudential, California Realty. You can call Tom at 285-0680. That's 285-0680.
I hear his wife's an awesome real estate person, so he could probably hook you up with her.
Yeah, there you go.
She's great.
Awesome. A big thank you to my special co-host. Yes, I said special. Michelle Pettis-Cavalli. Thanks so much for getting up with me, kid, as always. A big thank you to Johnny B. behind the mics. Johnny, you rock, buddy. You do such a great job. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you back home. Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.